but I want him to like me. And I'm like, do you like him though?
Exactly.
Because
do you
it's
even like him?
Yeah, and
Would
a
you
lot of
want
the time
him to
they're
just
not.
like you?
Yeah, and a lot of the time they actually don't even like them. They just want them to want them.
You just want to be picked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buckle up, bitches. This is gonna get bumpy. This is the breakup diet.
Welcome back to another episode of The Breakup Diet. Today I have a very exciting guest on, Alice Potts, who is an ex-matchmaker and now a dating coach.
Yeah.
Dating right now is not it.
No.
I don't think it's it.
It's not. It's tough. And I'm hearing this a lot.
Has it ever been it though?
I think it has. There's a lot of things that have really changed. And I think it's got harder. But there's just an abundance of people think there are options and I don't think there are.
Yeah. I used to have this exact disagreement with my ex.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so hard to date in general because I was like, to actually find somebody that's good looking, that you think's good looking.
Yep.
And all the values that you want and you have fun with.
Yes, it's hard. Although I think in a way it's gone the other way where people are too picky now. There's no perfect person at all. But at least if you find somebody who's got like the core ingredients, then, you know, I think a big problem I find that people come to me with is they're waiting for the finished article. And that's never really the case. As long as somebody is showing like really good traits, that good values and something that you can actually like work with, then no one is going to be perfect as soon as you see them. So as long as like, you know, they're showing up well, they're kind, they align with what you want, then that should be good enough. But people are looking for perfection.
Yeah.
And I think that combined with this idea that there's just so many options because of apps and, you know, you can swipe if one thing isn't quite right.
Yeah, or you get bored or they take too long to reply and then it goes down and you're like not near the top.
No one sticks to anything anymore. Like, I don't think people give things a go. If one little it crops up, then it's like, okay, cool, I can swipe on to the next.
Yeah.
And, you know, people don't give it a go. A relationship, I always find, is made. It's not that you just find it.
Yeah, you like grow together, don't you?
Totally, yeah.
But then how do you know what you really, really value? Like the most important, because I actually find that hard to know myself. Like
Sure.
I think there's like things that I obviously can be like, yeah, 100% I want that. But then there's some that I'm like, do I put that in more than something else? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I think as long as you are those things, first and foremost, then you should start attracting those things. I always say to clients that come to me, it's like, okay, what do you value? And what things are like that you think are good values that you carry, then look for those in the other person. So for instance, if, you know, family life and wanting to settle down and start a family is important to you, find the person who also wants to do that, but in the same time frame as you. I think people find someone who's potentially good, but they don't want these things for 5+ years.
Yeah.
So like a huge like tip or like an easy thing to do is just find the guy who is on that same timeline as you and not just someone that you have to coerce or manipulate or change to think the same way you do, basically.
How would you do that though, like when you're first starting to date somebody? Because I could imagine that, for example, I'm just thinking about like a stereotypical thing. Like if a woman went on to a first date or 2 dates in or something like early on and was like, I want kids like now. I feel like a lot of men, maybe this is me being like a stereotype, would probably be like, woo!
No, 100%. Yeah, that's obviously going to freak anybody out. Like on a first date, I think there's ways of gauging how kind of serious somebody is quite early on. And it's not necessarily saying, I want these things with you. It's saying, this is kind of what I'm looking for.
In general. So it takes the pressure off them thinking, God, I've got to fulfill this role right now. Yeah. And, you know, this person might not be right at all come date 3. But the key is you have to be honest and you have to be open with, this is why I'm dating. This is I'm not here, you know, for a laugh. Like I'm here because I value family and eventually would love to find the one. But take the onus off them. Yeah. So it's less like the pressure is them to fill it. Yeah. It's like, it might not be with you, but this is where I'm at. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when you're a matchmaker, what does that actually mean? Did you work for a company or did you do it independently, or how did you come into doing that?
Yeah, it's a funny one because it's not like a traditional role.
Yeah.
So matchmaker is essentially, so we work for a dating agency. Mm-hmm. So it's not like Hinge, it's not like an app. It's quite traditional in the sense that it's an introduction agency. So it's kind of like a membership. You have men and women who join. They typically join with a fee.
and then we match everybody who is in that pool of people.
Do people still do that? Because to be honest, like that, I've seen that in movies, you know what I mean? I think there's like some old rom-coms that happens, but I've never in my life heard of somebody doing it.
Yeah,
like, know. Is that weird to say, or like, am I just...
No, and I think that's quite a normal idea. Like, people think it is quite archaic. Like, I've worked in 2 agencies in London. One was really quite old school and very traditional in the sense that we didn't even show photos. So they were going completely blind. And the premise was that obviously it should be based on values and what you both are looking for and not just appearance. And I've worked in one was a bit more modern and up to date, and I think more appealing to maybe like a younger audience.
Did you, when you, with the first one that they didn't see photos of each other, did the matchmakers see photos of the 2 people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we would obviously know what they look like because we'd interview everybody who came in. And, you know, typically the men would be a bit like, oh, you know, I'm not going to be able to find her attractive. How will I know what she looks like? So that would be a bit more of a trickier one where women were a bit more open-minded. So, yeah, I think typically how it would work is, everyone would be a member and we'd assign them another member. Sometimes we would go out and headhunt. So we would go to events or networking do's and have a specific client that we had in mind that we'd match them with.
Okay. So then you just go in and you're like, are you single? You want to come?
Kind of, yeah, a little bit. And we'd also have scouts that would kind of be around London or who would be out a lot and be like, oh, I work for this agency. Would you be interested in sort of joining and letting them know about it? Or I have a great client for you in particular. I think you'd be a nice match if you're single, obviously.
Oh my gosh. It's actually so like a movie. I didn't know that actually was like a proper thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you match people? Like what do you really, besides just like maybe like basic values, how do you know if somebody's a really good match? Or you think they would be?
We would base it on values. So someone would come to us or we'd interview them and say, okay, for example, how do you spend your typical Sunday? So it wouldn't only just be values, it would be lifestyle matching. Like, how do people, spend their free time? How do they spend their money? What do they like doing? So say, for instance, someone enjoys more of the finer things in life and enjoys luxurious hotels and nice restaurants. That isn't going to match someone who's incredibly frugal and doesn't like spending their money in that way. So I always sort of like coin it as finding 2 people who think a life well lived is similar. So how they spend their time and money is really important, and sometimes it can be overlooked. So yeah, we base it on lifestyle. You don't have to necessarily have the same interests, but similar interests, and kind of just 2 people who are looking for the same thing in life and typically at the same time.
This just pops in my head because I did actually watch a movie.
Yeah.
Is it Materialist or something like this?
Yes, it was quite recent, this film.
Yeah. How do you... So this just made a question, so sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
Sure.
But how do you know the person that's turning up is actually like a good person and they're not just putting on a character? Is there any like vetting that has to go on?
It's a good question, and a lot of people do ask this. We have a lot of referrals, so a lot of people that would come to us would be someone who knew a member previously and has come well recommended. So there's typically that, it's word of mouth quite a lot. But I think because we've done it for so many years, the matchmaking team are very experienced in understanding, you know, what someone's about. We obviously have sort of questionnaires and stuff that people have to fill in prior. You have to make sure, you know, people are single and hopefully people aren't lying.
Yeah.
With a strong emotional intelligence or EQ, you kind of pick up if someone's being genuine. And sort of any flag that we see on a date that we send with a client that is a bit fishy, we would cut them immediately.
Fair.
Yeah
because that was a big thing of that movie, where it was like they just felt like that was a genuine person and then he was a weirdo.
It's like weirdo. Catfish. I know.
And then you feel bad because you're the one that set them up, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, totally.
You feel like guilty and like, because you know what I mean, you've thought, and then
100%. It's putting a lot of trust in people to be like, you know, but then, you know, people could argue, well, I'm meeting strangers off apps.
Yeah.
But, and you don't know who people are like. But I think what people liked about the agency side of things, it cuts that middleman out. So someone has met these people, they've made sure they're okay and who they say they are. Yeah. And I think for a lot of people that gives them a bit more sort of reassurance.
What age demographic is it normally, really?
Oh my gosh, so wide. So like, I think my youngest client was probably like mid-20s, and I think we matched someone like in their 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, not together.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not together. But yeah, I mean, it would be very, very broad. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Still find love at 80.
Yeah, you can. What would you do if you didn't have anyone for someone?
That would typically be a bit more hard. And
what would you say as well to the person that's like come in like so hopeful to find love, and like also they're probably, maybe this is me being like naive thinking it, but like if you're going to a dating agency, you've probably exhausted some other avenues maybe before.
Sure.
So this is kind of like your last hope.
Yeah, it can be a little bit for some people, 100%, and they need that helping hand. I think this is kind of where I wanted to sort of start leaning out of it and go more into coaching, is that I did see there were flaws in the model, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, in the sense that the people that we were necessarily having on our books weren't really anybody that you can find like yourself or on an app necessarily. So, you know, there was that element, but I think we typically wouldn't take somebody on if we were like, this person is like unmatchable. Like, no one is unmatchable, but if we thought this is going to be incredibly hard, or we haven't got people already, it's typically when we'd interview them, we think, oh, this person could be great. The cog's already going when you're talking to them. And if we thought, oh, I don't think there's anyone here, we typically wouldn't bring them on, because it would be a waste of time. Because otherwise, you know, they're sitting in a database as such, waiting for just somebody to join, and it can be a long time. So typically we wouldn't sign somebody up if we thought we haven't really got anything suitable.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And then, because otherwise it would just feel like they were wasting money, like not
Totally, and just waiting, and it's like, I've not been sent on a date here. And it wasn't cheap, right?
Yeah. Okay, so now you do dating, like coaching.
Yes, yeah.
What does that entail? How is that different? So you're just like, people are just, you're not matching anyone, you're just talking about dating in general.
Typically, yes. So moved away from the matchmaking, because that was more just putting people in front of one another, or at least like, you know, setting up a date. But what I was finding was that that's all very well, but people weren't really struggling to meet people as such. They were more struggling with the whole process of being like, how to be on a date, how to be after a date. And that was what I found a lot of people needed more help hand with. So now I do more coaching. It's very, very one-on-one. So we talk specifically about their problems. So I will kind of guide them through if they're talking to someone really early stages and they're like, you know, not sure if this guy's good, is there any red flags? We kind of guide them through that. And typically I work with a lot of people as well who have had slightly more, I use it loosely, but more toxic relationships or bad relationships, and now they're moving into more healthier ones. Often that in itself can bring up a whole host of problems, because you're just not used to someone good. So
and then you think the worst all the time, I feel, because you're like used to it, or you're always like second guessing everything.
Yes, yeah, 100%. So it's very much, it's people who are just really stuck within dating, who are just not finding results. And it can be, you know, I can tailor it towards like helping people on apps, like just to set your profile up better, how to get better quality swipes, and also just how to be on dates itself. So it's kind of it's an end-to-end process.
It's quite like weird with dating apps. There's like different ones. I went on Hinge for like a week and I deleted it because I'm sorry, but men are too horny on there that it's like aggressive. It was like, I was like, I'm deleting this because it's actually aggressive.
Really? On Hinge?
Yes.
I find I'm hearing like Fields like pretty racy for that.
What's that?
Fields.
I've never heard of that.
Have you not?
I've only been on Raya and Hinge. Raya, no one talks to each other, or they talk and
Raya
then they
useless.
say,
yeah,
they say hey, and then they don't say, and then you say hey, and then it's like dead again. And it's like
Raya's bad. Raya's bad. Raya, I had it for years, and then it was too good to be true. Like, these people, like, do they actually exist? And everyone's travelling. No one ever stays put.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was just a no man's land. I'm paying like 20 quid.
I think it is fun for travelling, though, because then you can see where people are and, like so
all these wonderful places.
But I'm like, oh, I could live in New York.
Why am I stalking you?
I could live in New York. And then also, there's a lot of pressure, I feel, like, to be funny. But then also, you don't want to be cringe.
Because they have all those prompts.
The prompts are cringy.
Yeah,
I know.
Am I funny to the girls but not funny to the boys? That's what I always think. Like mine were very much so like breakup diet coded. So it was like I was like, maybe this isn't the correct thing to be going in with. Like
it's hard to strike the balance of not being naff but like, you know, not being boring. It's tricky.
Yeah.
I know the prompts are cringy. But I always find if someone's profile is like a bit too
perfect,
curated, yes, particularly for a guy, I'm like, you've put too much into this. You should be busy doing other stuff. Like, why are you not at work? Like...
Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? But then on the flip side, somebody's like, ugh, like his profile's so like gross too. Like it's like a fine line.
No one can win. No.
Yeah, I think meeting people in person is so much better. But then obviously, if you're not on these apps, you feel like almost you're missing out. Or the potential of meeting someone, I think.
100%. And I think it's just another avenue. It's just another way. Like, you know, think of it as just like you're living your life and you're still meeting people, but it's just opens more doors. It just creates more opportunity. And I think used the right way. I mean, I met my partner on Hinge. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm all for it.
This is why I went on it, because I heard so many people. I've heard like 10 plus people that are all in like really good relationships with like decent men.
Yeah.
And it's all on Hinge.
Yeah.
That was not my experience of that 1 week. I had to delete it because it was so aggressive.
We need to look at what's going on there. But I bet you can have some quality matches on there. And there's no doubt about it.
There wasn't.
Hinge is hard. It's hit and miss. I think it's not maybe as good as it used to be. Or like, what I hear a lot as is like people are not going out on dates as much. Like 5-6 years ago rather, people would be out like twice a week. I think dates were happening. And now I don't know, it could be with the economy as well. People have got the money to do it. Like it's expensive. But you know, for guys to be taking a girl out, you know, twice a week, it's not cheap.
It's a lot.
So I think people are more picky with who they choose, and people are just not getting in front of people enough.
So how do we fix that?
There's hope. There's still hope. You've still got to use the apps. You've just got to do. I always say when people say, "Where on earth can I meet people organically?" I often just recommend do your life anyway, but just do it in a social way. I know people use the gym and fitness a lot, but if you are into that, okay, maybe not.
That is a danger zone. The gym is a danger zone, because then if it doesn't work out, you're just like running into them sweaty and no makeup.
True, 100%. I agree. Gym, no, but then maybe go to a class. It just gives someone a chance to speak to you. When you're sweating on a gym floor with the same people that you see every day and no one's cute, that's a no man's land. But if you then try a new class, it's like someone may just strike up a conversation afterwards. You never know. So it's not about completely curating your life to meet a man. It's doing stuff you like, but just be around new people.
Yeah, that does make sense. I do get it. I've had the reason I say no gyms is because I've had 2 experiences.
Oh no.
One of them is somebody came up to me on a night out being like, you go to the gym, and I was like, oh yeah, I had no makeup in the gym, and I like ran at 6 a.m.
Right.
I'm like, okay,
yeah, we love that.
And now obviously I'm like full makeup on it and night out, you know. And then this other person was like, I barely recognize you, so I was like instantly humbled. I was like, great.
Well, but they obviously recognised you, but then they were like, oh,
yeah,
you're
I
that
barely
person
recognise you. I was like, okay.
Charming.
Thanks. I know. I barely recognise myself in the morning too. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, fine. Gym's out.
Where else could you meet them? A lot of people say always like in pubs or something, but then I feel like, I don't know, I find that quite hard too.
I agree. You know, I used to do the trawling of the pubs and the clubs, and it's like, yeah, you may meet someone, but no one's approaching that much. You stay within your group. Like, is there much mingling? At the point you're mingling, you're probably all pretty drunk and it's late, and it's like you're probably making bad decisions. Like, pubs and clubs, it's a bit on the out.
Yeah.
I think it's friends of friends, and something I've actually met some brilliant people who not necessarily have turned into romantic connections, but through new girlfriends. And I think people sleep on that. It's like, don't just, meet friends, but actually new girlfriends have got groups of guys that you don't know, and friends of friends and best guy mates who, you could be set up with.
Yeah.
So, like, I've met a lot of new people through their own circles, which is great. And don't be shy to ask people to set you up. I was, like, a huge advocate. I was like, who do you know that's single? Introduce me.
I only just started doing that because my friend was like, you have to be more proactive. And I was like, okay, fine.
It is
I was
a
like,
bit.
set me up then. I'm like, please.
Yeah, everyone knows someone. Sometimes they like, oh, maybe it's rude if I set them up. You got to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, if they're not like really, really close friends, then it's not going to be awkward.
No, exactly.
Then it's like, great too.
Yeah,
whatever.
I've got something great, 100%. I'm already thinking of a couple of people.
And so also I saw on your TikTok that you said that before you dated like unemotional, I can never say this,
Emotionally unavailable
men.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you about like how to spot those signs, because there's a lot of them out there.
Oh gosh, yeah. 100%. It was a long-winded lesson for sure. And people typically say if you are emotionally unavailable yourself, to some degree you're going to be attracting the same people. And that was quite hard to work out, because I always thought I was really readily available for relationship. As soon as I met the right one, like, it would be easy. But actually there's always a blockage. There's always something that you kind of need to work on. So for a long time, I was 100% dating avoidance, and don't know why I was attracted to them. Now sort of coming out of it and on the other side, and dating someone incredibly healthy and it's secure and it's a different relationship entirely.
Yeah.
It's like night and day. I would say like the biggest things would be ignore all the noise and all the fluff and only concentrate on, is he consistently seeing you like over time? And that means like, actually setting up dates and getting in front of one another. This is not, he's calling you every day, ignore that. If he's texting you every day, that can go nowhere. If he's buying you gifts, if he's sending you pictures of what he's having for lunch in the office every day, no one cares. It means nothing. But people think, oh, because he's in contact and we speak all the time, then it's going to go somewhere. Not really.
Yeah.
You have to be savvy. People just can dribble and it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
So as I say, ignore everything. Buying gifts, introducing to friends and family. Like, it doesn't, who cares? Like, I've gone on holidays with guys within like pretty much a month and it's gone nowhere. It doesn't mean commitment. The only thing you should focus on is, are they consistently seeing you over a long period of time and always showing up?
What if you knew somebody that was like, they did show up, but then when it actually became serious of a relationship, more serious, and things could like turn into being like actually more serious, not just boyfriend girlfriend,
Sure,
but like, I don't know, you live together or you're more like a partner.
Okay.
Then
they bolt.
Then it shows.
So you're actually in a relationship. So you are going out, but then like commitment in terms of, say, what you're like moving in, or conversations of that happen,
or like real commitment of like deeper things than not just surface level, because there's like deep conversations and you're like together, but you as a partner don't really feel like they're 100% there. And then as soon as things get like more serious, where like you're together maybe 3 years or 2 years and you might end up like living together, that would be like an automatic next step. You feel like you can't ask them, or you feel like it's wrong too, because you know what I mean, the way that they've made you feel. So that to me also screams like they're
Totally. Yeah, you're
unavailable.
Yeah, emotionally unavailable. Avoidant.
Yeah, avoidant. But they were turning up at the start. Is what because I've seen this happen before.
Yeah, and you're completely right. You can be like emotionally unavailable within relationship as well, and that's like even more crushing, because you almost live with that every day, but you will never be fully fulfilled yourself.
Yeah.
And that's hard, because on the surface, this guy, he's committed to me. He wants to be with me, but I'm missing something. You will always feel like a sinking feeling of like, you're not fully there.
And you can't really count on them. Like, you don't feel like if something really, like, okay, maybe if something like kind of general went wrong, okay, but more like really, really wrong, they would be there, or you would want to call them.
Totally.
When you were dating before and you were a matchmaker, did you ever feel like if you weren't in a relationship that you weren't good at your job?
Yeah, it's a good point. Well,
sorry, I know I'm jumping back, but I just thought of it.
No, it's a good point. Well, certainly, I mean, when I was in one agency, I was single, 100%. I think people typically don't know if you are or not. So, like, I wouldn't say too much about my personal life.
Okay.
No, it can also just be necessarily like a timing. I hadn't found my person at that time. But I know what's good
you know, I can see it on paper what's good for other people type thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I don't think just because if you're a matchmaker, you have to have a person.
No, but I get it, good. Of course.
But I feel like a lot of people would
be like, well, you're not married.
Yeah.
So who are you to say?
What, isn't it? I feel like this, I've seen this in movies too, like when I was younger, about like marriage counselors and stuff, and they're not, if you're not married, they're like, well, how do you know?
How do you know? Totally. Yeah, you think, why am I taking advice off you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's true, it's a point.
Oh gosh. And with like dating now, what are some tips? I need to know the tips for myself, even. Like, some tips on how to like be good at dating, maybe. Also, this just popped in my head too, is you said in a TikTok that you have to date multiple at the start.
Yes.
That, to me, is just, number one, how are people not getting caught? Because I feel like in London, like, although it's big, it's small.
People know a lot of each other. Yeah.
Especially, like, if you're dating in kind of smallish pools. Like, that's hard. Also, there's so much, like, if they saw you on a date and then somebody else knew about it, like, 100%, I reckon one of the boys would pie you off for sure, straight away.
Yeah, if you got spotted, like, on a date. Look, it happens, I'm sure. But I would say multiple dating is key. And there's two reasons for it, really. I think not only does, say, for instance, you're dating someone and you kind of like them and it's going well. For the first point, it takes that person off a pedestal. So you're not just so focused on one person, or if he's going to text you, or you're waiting for a text back and you're betting on one person. It takes them off the pedestal and it just relaxes the situation a little bit if you have options.
Yeah.
And secondly, it gives you, this is early dating, but it gives you a chance to, not to be clinical, but to compare and contrast, to know what you like, to know, oh, I quite like this about this person. He's got this trait I'm not too keen on. It puts you in that like abundant mindset. So you're not like the one being picked, you're choosing. And I think as soon as you change that narrative, you show up better on dates massively. So I think, you get to see what you like. Doesn't mean you have to be sleeping with them all necessarily.
Yeah.
I think you also don't owe anybody anything super early on. Women are so loyal so early on. And let me tell you, from a matchmaker, men are not, okay? Men will keep their options open.
Yeah, fair.
So, like, women are like, oh no, I've gone on one really good date. Like, I couldn't date someone else. Why?
Yeah, that's
men
me.
Are. Literally, men are. Let me tell you.
That is so me.
Yeah, don't be loyal early on.
Okay, you've heard it here first. Watch out. The streets of London. Yaz is coming.
Be respectful, but I mean very early on, like, someone has to earn their right for your commitment and your exclusivity. And unless they're showing up impeccably, shop around.
Yeah. My friend always says that, and on this is funny, on Raya, she's like, go shopping. I'm like, what do you mean go shopping? She's like, go shopping. And then like on Raya, all the men. That was brilliant.
Well, it is a bit like that. It is a bit like you have to strategize a bit.
And she also, the same girl says about having multiple, and I'm like, no, that's too stressful.
It is stressful. It is hard, particularly when you like someone. You're like, no, I just want to concentrate on that. I've got enough going on rather than dating 5 people.
With work as well, and then finding the time to like, especially like going on dates, you want to look nice and
yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a second job, 100%.
And also like, there's a lot of, not every time you have to drink, but there is like a lot of the time. Like I feel like there's a lot of drinking. It's whenever I've gone on dates, like
totally,
you end up drinking a lot, and then you're like, ugh.
No, I agree. London dating, it's, I've tried the whole, like, we'll just have 2 drinks. It's not, it, like, nearly turns into a full-blown night out sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be doing this 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's hard, but I think it's more just keeping that mindset of, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm going to choose, and this decision's a big decision to make, until someone is really wanting to commit just to me and they vocalise that. Don't be loyal too early.
I actually really like what you just said. We're saying that you choose. Because you do see that a lot, that the girl's always like, but I want him to like me, and I'm like, do you like him though?
Exactly. Because do you even like him?
Yeah, and
or
a
do
lot
you
of the time
want him to
they're
just
not.
like you?
Yeah, and a lot of the time they actually don't even like them. They just want them to want them.
You just want to be picked. Yeah. I always think of this like analogy, like you can show up 2 different dates, 2 different guys, consecutive nights. You can have the same hair, the same makeup, same outfit, saying the same stories, and one guy will literally think you're great, and the second guy will be like, absolutely not for me. But you've not done anything differently. It's so subjective, dating. Yeah. So whenever there's a rejection or someone's like, I don't want to see you again, you just think, cool, it's not personal.
Yeah.
And as soon as you don't take it personal, then it's much easier to deal with. So you don't need to ever change yourself.
Yeah, it's like that thing that people say about X is like, there isn't really X if you like someone, because like the ick doesn't get you. Like, it won't, like, stop. Like, you might be like, oh, that's a bit weird, or, like, I wouldn't, but it's not like, you know?
Oh, the ick, I have a thing with the ick. I don't think the ick's real.
No, I don't think so either.
No. I genuinely think the ick is literally, like, it's a defense mechanism. And I think it's just your body's way of going, oh, let's find faults. Let's run any excuse to get out if someone's nice. Because it's funny, I'm having this with a girlfriend of mine at the moment. She's newly dating someone, really nice chap. And I'm like, go for it. Like, he's a really nice guy, you know, showing all the green flags. And she's like, oh no, I'm getting the ick. And I'm like, no, this is just because you're used to absolute arseholes and someone actually liking you, you've gone into panic mode.
Yeah.
So I think that is a huge thing I actually say, not only to friends, but to clients, is like push through the ick. Because once you're over that, it's great. And you're like, shit, I actually really like him.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, now I'm bugged.
That's a key piece of advice for anyone. Push through the ick.
Push through the ick, honestly.
Unless it's a really, really bad ick, then, like, you gotta
can the ick be changed is another thing. Yeah.
And for somebody that's, like, not hopeful for dating anymore, what would you suggest to, like, kind of change their mindset?
It's hard. I think dating is tricky at the moment, and it's not to be just squashed. But I do think there is a really negative narrative around dating at the moment. And I know it's hard, and I know it's different to how it used to be, and people are not even just going on the same volume of dates anymore. But not all guys are bad.
Yeah.
Like, they really, truly, truly aren't. And I think you have to be realistic. And I think I touched on this earlier. It's like, it's not about meeting a perfect person in their entirety when you meet them in the first 3 dates. It is just looking for, like, great elements of someone that you can at least work with. And this isn't about settling, but it's also just being realistic.
Yeah.
I think we've almost gone a bit too far the other way, where we've gone so entitled as women. It's like, well, if he's not taking me to a Michelin-star restaurant on the first date, he's low effort. It's like, no. And actually, no one's perfect. Give people a chance. Like, I always say, a relationship is made, it's not found. It's two people wanting it at the same time, enough to make it work. And you can make it something brilliant. What we find is, like, people go on a day and it's like, oh, I don't see the finished article, I'm just going to write it off then. It's like, no, actually, he showed lovely traits, he did a really nice thing, or he did a little gesture at the end of the day. Those are things you need to look for. Not, you know, oh, he's got, you know, shit uncool shoes. It's like, when you're in the relationship with him, you can go and buy the new wardrobe. Do you know what I mean? Those things don't matter. Like, men, you can manipulate them to some degree. Like,
I always say that about fashion whenever I've had friends dating. They're like, ew, I don't like his thing. I'm like, well, you can just change it.
Trust me, you can change it.
Especially if they have, like, one of their male friends say they look cool, then they'll want you to buy everything.